Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Alrighty people, that was my little April Fool's joke there. Bet you thought I wasn't here, bet you thought you were going to be looking at a blank screen for the rest of the show. We are rocking and rolling. Happy April Fools everyone. For anybody who isn't aware, just a quick reminder that Kurt Wottock has got his interview with Elon Musk later on. So just make sure that you're tuned in for that. I've no doubt it's going to be absolutely epic. I actually found that quite funny. You know, I mean, we know it's going to happen one day. You know, why not an April Fool's Day? Well, you know. But yeah, I did quite enjoy that one. So anyway, let's crack on with some of this stuff. We've got to have a look at this. We have got to have a look at this. This Duro currency thing that is going on. So luckily our man BSV Train or Bitcoin SV Train, John Southers, is on the case. Our man on the ground telling us what is going on. So let's see this. How many Duros is that? Handcash says its new Bitcoin currency unit will make pricing easier. Oh, fantastic. So I guess it's what, a new currency measurement? Which means it's effectively like a currency measured in Bitcoin, or a Bitcoin currency measurement. Yeah, I guess so. So I'm assuming that it's going to be... It probably wouldn't be cheaper than a dong. I mean, dongs are... A dong, even Bitcoin couldn't send one dong. Like, literally, I think even the smallest transaction on Handcash in terms of dongs was like you know, 1,000 dongs, something insane. Anyway, yeah, it was crazy. But it looks like now we've got Duro. Sounds a bit like Durex, really. Durex for currencies, the safe way to do micropayments. So starting today, Handcash users who update their apps can make payments in a new currency unit called the Duro. not the Duro X. But the Duro is not a new token. It's actually a unit of account that refers to 500 Satoshis on Bitcoin SV. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So we can be donging Duros at the end of the show. In fact, I might even update my app now, so we can do it, because I've been doing it in pesos, and I think I can do like 650 sats sort of thing. Let me just, I'm getting excited about this, no time like the present. Opening up my phone, Google Play, hand cash, talking to myself while I'm doing this. You have to, so update their apps. I've only got the choice to open here. Do I have to uninstall and reinstall, maybe? Okay, let's have a look at currency. Yeah, there's no Duro. There's no Duro on there just yet. Okay, maybe you have to uninstall and reinstall. Yeah, maybe that's what you got to do. Okay. So, Hanka says this will make pricing and payments for smaller items easier. So, what's it all about? One of the things that makes BSV, that's Bitcoin, so useful is its ability to handle tiny payments, micro or even nano payments, as a negligible cost. Again, just as a Bitcoin originally promised. This is creating new and promising new economies in social media networks, games, and the digital goods market. There's one problem with this though. Price things in BSV and you get prices like 0.000395548 BSV, which is not only unfamiliar to users but can be confusing. Even pricing in sats, short for Satoshis, isn't ideal since it still results in higher appearing numbers. In an attempt to solve these problems, Handcash has come up with the Duro symbol. So a US $1.21 is 0.000500273 BSV, or RC, right, 50,273 sat Satoshis. In Duros, it would appear as 100 Duros. How does that work? How does 50,273 Satoshis work out as 100 Duros? All right, let's carry on reading, find out. That's a much cleaner and more easily digestible figure. Speaking to CoinGeek, Handcash founder and CEO Alex Agert called the Duro just raw BSV with a layer of usability on top. Since it isn't a token, it only requires small interface tweaks from users and merchants to buy and send items in Duro. Okay. So maybe it's just like a single payment of a Duro, like, because it's so small. In a way, it's also part of an effort to rebrand Bitcoin and perhaps move general consumer usage away from the costly distractions over the name Bitcoin and endless arguments over who should use the name and who shouldn't. Well, we should use it. That's it. No arguments there. No discussion needed from my behalf, in my opinion. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, that is my opinion. For now, it's an experiment, but it could catch on if others find it useful and adopt the system. Handcash is one of the most popular wallets used in the Bitcoin BSV ecosystem. Good, they see, look, referring to it as Bitcoin BSV ecosystem, correctly named. From its beginnings, it has searched for ways to make using Bitcoin in daily life easier, introducing handles instead of addresses, tap to pay NFC payments, sounds like NFT, that NFC payments, and NFC backups. Outpulls. Hold on, my headphones just came out then. NFC backups and output bills, Handcash Connect, and keyless wallets. Here's a short video explaining what Duro is and how it could be used. Below that is an interview with Alex Agert to explain things in more detail. Cool. Okay, well let's play away. Let's have a quick look. Hopefully most of us have seen this. Hopefully this won't be on YouTube. Otherwise I'll get a copyright strike if I play it. But it's on Twitter, so let's play this. Here we go.
Virtual currencies are broken. They only work for their particular game, and they don't have any real-world value. At a time when micropayments only go from your pocket to company's pocket, limiting the actions on online games and social media platforms, the internet is now waiting for something special. Introducing Duro, the first digital currency that works across apps and games. Duro supports instant payments with fees so low we had to come up with a new word for them: nano payments. For the first time ever, we can put a universal price on things that never before had a real-world price, such as game items, social interactions, and reward programs. Simply integrate Duro into apps and games to create horizontal economies among your users and players. Earnings from one app are immediately available to all your connected apps. Since Duro uses tiny fractions of Bitcoin, it has a real-world value which can be used to purchase goods. Join the new era of micropayments by downloading Hand Cash today. Learn more at duro.money.
Alrighty, I mean, that looks really exciting actually. So basically it means that if you want to send micro/nano payment in any sort of computer game whatsoever, you are gonna have to be doing it on Bitcoin. Bitcoin SV. BSV, the genuine, truly original Bitcoin, the one that Satoshi Nakamoto designed, which is why the entire world will be on it sooner or later. Loving it, loving it. Talking about the entire world being on it sooner or later, let's have a quick look at the shitcoin market, see what's going on. Quickly, come on, let's see this. Is Duro having an effect on the price? Oh, the price is going up. Ooh. When can Nancash users start to use Duro for transactions? Starting March 31st, that was yesterday, 2021. After updating their apps, they'll find a Duro mode. Toggles in settings, turning Duro into the main currency for the app. And yes, you can now type in amounts in Duros. Oh, fantastic. We're making this optional as we try to validate our hypotheses about how it works. So if users want to help us test out the Duro fields in different contexts, they can do it. But if they want to keep using the app as it is, we're not messing with that. We think good ideas should not be imposed. I'm definitely going to do it. I mean, it's a great idea. The Duro is more a branded denomination of BSV Satoshis and not a token. Will other platforms adopt the name and adjust their software to handle Duros too? Well, yeah, exactly. For us, it's essential to have support from developers for this to have any value. We're adding an endpoint to our Connect SDK. That's the... I keep forgetting what SDK. Software Developer Kit. Whew, bit of knowledge there. Pulled that one out of the bag just in time. So they can know if their user has activated Duro mode, so the UI, so user interface, can change accordingly. It's a small change though, shouldn't take developers more than 10 minutes to adapt to this, especially since this is not a token protocol, it's just raw BSV with a layer of usability on top. Oh, great stuff. One Duro is 500 BSV Satoshis. This means its value fluctuates in a way that's pegged to the BSV unit itself, right? Yes, it does. Okay, so it's fixed as 500 Satoshis. But that's what gives it a universal and real-world value too. We realize in the context of nano payments, fluctuations are not... Alright, okay, this is cool. So they're just literally, it's payments in it's BSV. You're not... It's not affected by the fiat currency value of it. You're just getting 500 BSV. That's it. That's a really good way of doing it. That's almost like a recommended retail price. So, wow, yeah, BSV, Bitcoin, has got its first recommended retail price in the form of a Duro. That's what this is. That's awesome. That's awesome. We realize in the context of nano payments, fluctuations are not an issue, only for traders. When you have 200 transactions of a few cents per day, nobody notices. And if we price things in Duros, in Bitcoin after all, and the main currency are Duros, there's no fluctuation either. There are things we assumed they are problems when in reality they are not, as long as the context fits the situation. After years of being the most pro-fiat company in Bitcoin, we realized the best way to use this technology is to be pro-Bitcoin. Oh, finally, good. I was having issues with them going pro-fiat. I'm just like, look, I want to use Bitcoin, you know. The problem is current units of account suck. BSV works great for high amounts, and the Satoshis are better suited for machine-to-machine payments. And neither of both sounds like a currency. While Duros actually sounds like a currency, sounds like Durex actually, but that's all right, we'll forgive you. Think pound, libra, dollar, euro, yen, Durex. We want Duro to become the native currency of the internet. Remember, Bitcoin, it's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, not a currency. It's not an appealing currency by itself. Duro is the first attempt to actually turn this into an appealing currency. Well, sex appeal, Durex and Duros. Maybe, safety first, especially when it comes to your money. Attempting to actually turn this into an appealing currency with its own brand, separated from any crypto-related stuff. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Duro also refers to an old Spanish currency unit. Is that where the name comes from? Oh, yes, sir. It is. It has a lot of meaning for us. For one, it reflects the Spanish origins of hand cash. Duro were an unofficial unit of account that referred to the 5 pesetas coin, as all prices were multiples of 5 or 10. Units of pesetas were very rarely used, so people just divided the price by 5 for convenience. 20 Duros was 100 pesetas. It was an unofficial unit of account that made pricing more convenient and simple, and that's what we are trying to do here. The reason we chose 500 Satoshis for 1 Duro instead of a direct order of magnitude is so we add another layer of friction for people trying to figure out conversion rates with BSV. We want Duro to become its own thing by creating a real economy where everything below 1 USD mainly is priced in Duros. I can't say Duro without thinking Durex. Do you think we'll see others in this industry join a trend shift away from using the word Bitcoin and BSV as we move forward? I think it's a great concept. Yeah, I can't say the name Duro without thinking of Durex. That's the only thing. I don't know, but I hope so. Everybody knows that part of what's dragging us down is the constant public battles for the Bitcoin brand and the reputation of being a fork of a fork and all that bullshit. Duro is an attempt to start from scratch with a brand we can control since day one. Detached from crypto, from speculation, from cult fights, it's time for the technology to shine for its merits, and we think Duro can help. It can help keep people safe. We're inviting the rest of the ecosystem to use Duros. As a main unit of account by following a few simple rules that's stated on our website, Duro Money. As it's not a token, all companies are instantly compatible with Duros. They just have to adapt the unit of account by dividing Satoshi amounts by 500 and rounding the results. So we don't show decimals. Great stuff. Absolutely a fantastic concept there. There we go. The whole world is going to be keeping their money safe by using Duros. That's what I think. I'm really chuffed with that. Yes, gonna be donging Duros to everybody. Put a Duro on that dong. Oh, great stuff. I saw this article here as well. Tether is still lying to you. Yeah, we kind of know that, but let's just see what this says here. The Tether playbook is simple. Anytime suspicions are raised about whether tethers are fully backed, release an irrelevant non-proof in the hope that it causes enough premature celebration on social media to front-run reality. So that by the time it becomes clear the public has been misled, the headlines have already been written and everyone has moved on to the next scandal. In fact, Tether is becoming an artisan at promising to provide an audit showing that its stablecoin is fully backed and then doing everything in its power to avoid exactly that. This is exactly how Tether's latest attempt at vindication has played out. No doubt anxious about the effect last month's scathing announcement by the New York Attorney General had on public perception, Tether has publicised a consolidated reserve report along with an assurance opinion provided by an accountant. An assurance opinion. Oh my God. Yeah, and we all saw what the rating agencies did to worm out of their responsibilities of the financial crisis in 2008. Oh yes, well, these ratings are just our opinions. AAA means nothing. It's just an opinion. So if it's just an opinion, why is it that pension funds are only allowed to buy ratings that are products that are rated AAA, and yet they're an opinion? What a joke. These two things together, according to Tether, show they aren't lying about claiming that Tether has always been fully backed. What a joke. I mean, shitcoiners want to believe it anyway. They'll believe anything you tell them, to be honest. In reality, they do no such thing. The Consolidated Reserve Report was prepared by Tether and sets out the amount of assets and liabilities on Tether's balance sheet as of February 28, 2021. Along with a confirmation that at the time the amount held in reserve by Tether exceeds the amount required to redeem the number of Tethers that has been issued. No information is given as to the composition of Tether's assets, liabilities or reserves. It's meant to be cash. You're meant to be able to literally exchange those Tethers 1-to-1 for the dollar. And you know how many times that has been done in history? Never. Not once. Not once has a Tether ever been redeemed for $1. It's an absolute scam. Absolute scam. The assurance opinion merely attests that the statements made in the report as to Tether's holdings on February 28th are correct, which is to say, on February 28th, the amount of assets held by Tether exceeds its liabilities, and that the reserves held by Tether were enough to cover the number of Tether that had been issued at the time. The accountant's statement itself puts this beyond doubt. Our opinion is limited solely to the Consolidated Reserve Report and the corresponding consolidated total assets and consolidated total liabilities as of February 28th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. UTC. Activity prior to and after this time and date was not considered when testing the balances and information described above. In addition, we have not performed any procedures or provided any legal assurance of the financial or non-financial activity on dates or times other than noted within the report. Upon reading this, those familiar with the New York Attorney General's investigation will know to immediately disregard this latest charade by Tether. After concluding the investigation, the New York Attorney General fined Tether $18.5 million, banned it from operating in New York, and set out the ways in which Tether had lied to justify its claim to be fully backed. In particular, the investigation found that Tether would arrange for their bank accounts to be verified by the accountant's firm, inflate the account with cash on the day of their verification, and then depopulate the account soon after. What a joke. The OAG investigation found that starting no later than mid-2017, Tether had no access to banking anywhere in the world, and so for periods of time held no reserves to back the Tethers in circulation at the rate of $1 for every Tether, contrary to its representations. What a joke. It's an absolute farce. It's probably the greatest money laundering scandal I've ever seen. Literally, billions at the touch of a button. It's crazy. Buy Bitcoin with it, sell it for US dollar, jobs are good. In the face of persistent questions about whether the company actually held sufficient funds, Tether published a self-proclaimed verification of its cash reserves in 2017 that it characterized as good faith effort on our behalf to provide an interim analysis of our cash position. I mean, look, if ever you've seen, criminals never admit to wrongdoing, do they? They're doing their best to cover it up. It's a farce. You've got to be so dumb to actually believe any of the shit they come out with. But shitcoin is shit for brains, you know. In reality, however, the cash ostensibly backing Tethers had only been placed in Tether's account as of the very morning of the company's verification. The self-proclaimed verification, verified to here, took almost the exact same form as its latest assurance opinion. Tether tried the same thing again in 2018. On November 1st, 2018, Tether publicised another self-proclaimed verification of its cash reserves, this time at Deltec Bank and Trust Limited of the Bahamas. The announcement linked to a letter dated 1st November 2018, which stated that tethers were fully backed by cash at $1 for every one tether. However, the very next day, on November 2nd, 2018, Tether began to transfer funds out of its account, ultimately moving hundreds of millions of dollars, there should be billions of dollars, from Tether's bank accounts to Bitfinex accounts. And so, as of November 2nd, 2018, one day after their latest verification, Tethers were again no longer backed one-to-one by US dollars in the Tether bank account. It's an absolute scam. Like in the present case, these proofs offered by Tether were in the context of mounting demands for a full audit and accompanied by much fanfare and celebration from Tether's employees, particularly General Counsel Stuart Hoegner, who was made a fool of by insisting that Tether was 100% backed by USD in the early days of the company and had been backtracked ever since, apparently ebbing and flowing along with whatever versions of events Tether thinks it can get away with at the time. For example, by the time Hoegner submitted an affidavit for the New York Attorney General investigation in April of 2019, Hoegner was said Tethers were only 74% backed. Now we appear to be backed at 100%. Now we appear to be back at 100% backed, which one imagines will change again the next time the Tether employee is asked about it under oath. Dope. Yeah, I mean, so that's their solicitor. I mean, scumbag. As was brought to light on the Something Awful forums and shared by author David Gerard in his critique on the situation, the third-party attestations includes a disclaimer that Tether's accounting policy is to value its assets and liabilities at historic cost as opposed to realizable value. Oh my god. Which not only flies in the face of common accounting standards, but is a highly conspicuous inclusion in a report otherwise scant on detail. It would suggest a non-significant proportion of Tether's assets come from digital assets. In fact, digital assets are about the only class of asset specifically referenced in either Tether's report or the third-party attestation, and invites the question whether these might include any of the many coins to have collapsed in value over the years. I'm sure it does. But despite anything else, Tether's latest release is not an audit, as pointed out by David Gerard in his critique. Quote here, an actual audit would test a few other things just for starters. So, bullet points here, looking for unreported liabilities, don't just take Tether at their word. Check that the assets exist. Check that the assets are in fact owned by Tether. Check that the reserve assets over time to make sure Tether couldn't pull the wool over the accountant's eyes in the same way they did in 2017. Check that Tether's accounting principles do in fact account correctly for assets and liabilities. And last one, check the valuation of the assets Tether is claiming as a reserve and that Tether is valuing them correctly. Yeah, that's right. I've got a piece of thin air and I'm valuing that thin air at $1 million today. So there we go. Just as with the previous attestations offered by Tether, the document releasing this week is not an audit. It certainly doesn't say anything about backing. At this stage, it's also not enough for Tether to show proof they have managed to pivot towards completing backing. Their story has changed so often, and Tether has at various points made inconsistent claims about their reserve that the only certainty is that Tether has been lying for a large proportion of its history. The question is which, if any, assertions were true. It's not just that Tether has still yet to offer any proof that it is fully backed and by what. It's that Tether has once again tried to mislead us with a non-proof in the hope that their accusers cause enough premature celebration on social media to front-run reality. The entire strategy can be seen by comparing Tether's press release concerning the conclusion of the Attorney General's investigation. Yeah, that was a joke, that was. And and comparing it to basically the New York Attorney General announcement itself. They might as well be describing two different events, and yet this tactic is working, judging by the amount of headlines which seem content to take Tether at its word on their latest attestation. Again, they're all in bed with each other. And these shitcoins don't want to hear anything less because they know the entire market is backed by Tether. Well, shitcoiners probably don't realise that. Anybody with the slightest little bit of intelligence does know this and knows that Corecoin is an absolute piece of shit. Of course, we know exactly what it would take for Tether to prove that its token is fully backed by Currency Holdings, a complete independent audit performed by a qualified accountant. Tether knows this too, which is why we've received nothing of the sort. Oh dear, oh dear, dear, oh dear. You have to laugh. You have to laugh. It's hilarious. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Like, honestly, I haven't. Let's just have a quick look at this last one. So this is by Jackson Lasky of Unbound Capital. He said, why I got into the penny business. The post originally appeared on the Unbounded Enterprise website, and we published with permission of its author, Jackson Lasky. We'll just see how long that is. Let's have a quick look at this then. Pennies get a bad rep, heavily associated with the factoid that costs of their production exceeds their value. Pennies have been in the crosshairs of legislators keen on their destruction for some time now. I'm not here to argue that these copper coins are worth continued creation, but as a business, turning down a penny could become a costly error. My company, Unbounded Enterprise, recently released a game called BSV 2048 through our research and development arm, Unbounded Labs. Unbounded Enterprise is a blockchain infrastructure company making it easier to build on Bitcoin SV, the blockchain we believe has the greatest commercial potential. Unbounded Labs explores BSV design patterns to better serve infrastructure clients by creating consumer-facing applications which can help to drive adoption. Excellent. BSV 2048 is an extension of the popular puzzle game 2048, a game which has been downloaded over 40 million times. While it peaked in 2014, it was still downloaded 300,000 times in January 2021 and earned $6,000 in worldwide revenue, presumably via an active user base in the millions or tens of millions. BSV 2048 adds a new dimension to 2048 by embracing the penny business. 2048, like most games, is played for free. These sorts of games generate revenue from in-app purchases, typically of $1 or more, with 40% going to Apple or Google. Paid app downloads or ads. BSV 2048 makes a different approach. We charge an entry fee for each game. We have two tiers, 1 penny and $1. The score of each entry gets recorded on the leaderboard for 24 hours. While a score is on the leaderboard, if it's high enough, it qualifies for a cut of the entry fees. Unbounded Labs takes 20% of the entry fee. That sounds good. I've never played that game before. I might have to give it a go. The numbers speak for themselves. We launched on Wednesday, February 24th, 2021. In our first 2 days, we have had about 600 total users. We've generated $40 in revenue. This may not seem like a lot, but compared it to 2048's numbers, for millions of users, they're generating $6,000 a month. If we had 1,000 times as many users, we would still have far fewer than 2048, but we would be generating $600,000 a month. Wow. The revenue potential is clear for businesses, but how are users affected? Is the penny a burden or an opportunity? A penny is a very small price to pay for a game that can provide up to an hour of entertainment. Yeah, good value for money, that. It's a change in user behavior. No small thing, but it isn't a significant cost. In fact, I think many games would improve their UX just by substituting ads for direct payment. Yeah, they would actually. Yeah, very good point. What's a penny to save 20 seconds of time waiting for an ad to play? A penny every 20 seconds is $1.80 an hour. A number few would accept for the job of watching ads. It's true. Perhaps most importantly, the leaderboard model can really make a game more interesting and provide players with a tangible goal and reward. I ended up benefiting from my practice testing the app by generating the high score right away. From that 1 cent investment, I ended up making over $10, a career best return on investment by far. That's huge. That's massive. That's not even $1. That's $10. Is that 1,000%? 1,000 times? It's huge amount. Yeah, I have to brush up my mental arithmetic there. This mechanism gets powerful at scale without introducing the destructiveness of gambling. Even a total addicted player would have a hard time spending $100 a year on BSV 2048 at the 1 cent level. Yeah, awesome. So how is this possible? This can't be done with credit cards, which have a minimum fee that typically starts between 10 and 30 cents. Beyond the fee, the UX of entering credit card information is a non-starter. Our magic ingredient is Bitcoin transactions. BSV has transaction fees of 1/100 of a cent and transaction throughput such that we never need to worry about hitting a scaling ceiling. These transactions also transfer immediately. There is no time waiting for confirmation. We can forward the penny anywhere in the world immediately upon receipt. Just as importantly, BSV has amazing businesses which make using BSV technology extremely simple. We use technology for Handcash, a Spanish company that created a wallet for Bitcoin SV that makes this type of game possible. Our users can create a Handcash wallet with an email and phone number in the browser. This Handcash account also allows users to spend and earn Bitcoin with a simple click of a button. It also makes logging onto Bitcoin or BSV 2048 and similar apps extremely easy, akin to a single sign-on with Google or Facebook. Using Handcash, we were able to build a BSV 2048 in a couple of weeks, and we could build a similar game much more quickly with our experience. Oh, fantastic. I know my experience with BSV 2048 will have me hooked for life on the penny business. If you want to learn more about how to utilize BSV payments in your business, please get in touch with us here. And if you want to try the game, head to bsv2048.com. No BSV needed. First 10 pennies are on us. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love this space. I love this space. Yep. I love Bitcoin. Full disclosure. Should I say on that one? So we'll leave this Duro picture up there while we're doing ding-a-dongs for everybody. I'll have to uninstall and reinstall my phone before I get dinging of the dongs. Hold on one second. Right, handles and paymails in the chat box, peeps. Let's do this. Starting from the bottom, I can see Neezy in there right away. Here we go. Oops, Neezy. There we go. So that's so 613 satoshis. So just slightly more than a Duro there. KP Dad, shout out to you. This one is on the way. KP Dad 72 on the way to you. There we go. Sweet. I have plenty. That's Si from Sheffield. Thank you for tuning in. SG Bet. Got it. That should be in my. There we go. Yep, that's in my contacts. Thank you, Neil. Hope you enjoyed the show. Great information on CoinGeek today. Loving that. Diddy Weldon in the house. Excellent. Thank you very much for putting your Handcash handle in there. Diddy, not Duddy, on the way to you. There we go. Keith Fellows, seriously, get a Handcash handle. You're making me type this out. Here we go. Big blocks. I've got to make sure I don't get fat fingers in this. At moneybutton.com. Hey, got it. Tell you what, I'll have to I'll have to add that to my contacts if you're going to continue to use that one. There we go. That's big blocks. Our money bun. Eric the half a B. There we go. Legal tendies. Yeah, I saw that one. Haron is in there as well. AH. There we go. Swiping to send on the way. Excellent stuff. There we go. And yes, starting from the door. And Mama Mamas. Hello. You have to remind me what your one was. Putting in there. Sylvia and Kuche in the house. There we go. SC19. That is now registered. Swiping to send on the way. And is that Dimadan? Is that right? Dimadan in there? Here we go. DIM. Dimadan, I'm sure. I think that's Dimadan. There we go. Nice one. And any other ones I might have missed, put them in the bottom so I don't miss you. Raven Shield. Zelda, is that Z-Lades Dark? I've probably messed that up really badly. Oh, I've got it there in my contacts already. So there we go, on the way. Great stuff. Richie Rich in the house. Here we go. RICH. That's the one. Got it. Swiping to send, on the way. There we go. I think that's everybody. Hey, good show today. Excellent. Just making sure we've got everyone. I think so. I think that's everybody. Sav Toshi in the house. Listening in from Australia. There we go. Got it. Nice one. Swiping to send, on the way. Just Manga Mamas. Is that Make America Great Again Mamas? That's the only one I think I'm missing. So, and anyone else? Okay, that's been pretty good. So remember to tune in to CoinGig and listening to Kurt Wattuck interviewing Elon Musk. Alrighty, same time tomorrow, guys. Catch you later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.